Well, I just checked out the playoff poll heading into conference championships, and I have a lot of problems. Let me just say, this brand exposure is corrupting the entire committee because teams that are extremely undeserving, like Alabama, who has 3 losses, could somehow get into the damn playoff with 3 L's. First of all, more unranked L's than Miami. I don't care that Miami didn't play anybody. Alabama did not put a single touchdown on Oklahoma, and they lost to Vanderbilt for the first time in 40 years. System's got to be tweaked again to prevent these 3 loss teams from making the playoffs if it does happen. I'm going to be telling you about the playoff poll in just a second. Nah, not really a second, but after the Week 14 predictions because... Welcome back to Grizzly Talks Football. We have reached 40 episodes on this series. Thank you guys so much for the support, as always. Anyways, today we got Week 14 NFL predictions, plus the playoff poll from this week, and also conference championship picks are this week. Yeah, that's right. I think if you watched the college football Week 14 reactions, you should know that today is the day that conference championship picks will be underway. Anyways, if you have not been a part of the series yet, you are new, and you want to see the other videos that I posted, I will leave a link in the description with the entire playlist so that you will be able to watch every single video so that you're all caught up. You'll also have future episodes whenever I post them, like this one. Also, make sure you hit that red subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. And before we get to the Week 14 NFL predictions, I gotta say, I had a heck of a Week 13 with a 14-2 record, if only I didn't pit the damn Browns over the Broncos. Well, they would have won as they didn't commit any turnovers. But anyways, my current record now is 126 and 69 losses. Nice. Let's see if those 69 on my win-loss record will translate to maybe a perfect Week 14. Who knows? Anyways, let's get to the games. Kicking this week off, we got the Thursday Night Football matchup in the NFC North Juggernauts. Packers at the Lions. I gotta be honest with you, this is my game of the week. I'm gonna say it once and I'm gonna say it again. Probably won't say it again, but there is not very many teams that can stop the Lions' offensive onslaught along with the defense. And Packers have the offense, the passing offense, to really keep up with Detroit, but the fact that Detroit can run and pass, it's going to be a problem for the Packers because they don't know what they're going to do. Anyways, I see this being a shootout. 34-31 is my score prediction for this game. I gotta be honest with you, I think you just need to give Dan Campbell his Head Coach of the Year award now because, my gosh, he has turned this team around. Dan Quinn could be a consideration too for the Commanders, but I think my #1 Head Coach of the Year candidate right now is Dan Campbell of Detroit. He has done an amazing job of turning this team around right away. And kicking off the Sunday 1 o'clock slate, we got the Browns playing at the Steelers. Browns pulled off the upset in Cleveland in the snow the last time these two teams have played. However, I think after that 3-interception game by Jameis, I think the magic's dead. And this is also in Pittsburgh, so I got the Steelers winning 27-24. It's going to be another close game that determines on which defense breaks more. Both passing offense are looking spectacular, but the defenses is what it comes down to. Which defense will let up first and which one will let up often. Up next, we got the Saints playing at the Giants in MetLife. Saints win 34-10. I see the Giants doing barely anything. They have zero pulse at all. Letting go Saquon was a big mistake. I'm not saying Daniel Jones was the worst quarterback. He wasn't exactly the worst, but yeah, he was the best option for the Giants, but it's not saying much. Meanwhile, the Saints are still there with their offense. Derek Carr can really shine when Alvin Kamara gets stuffed. I feel like the Giants defense is going to focus more on Kamara since Kamara can run 100 yards on anyone. And that's going to free up the passing game with Derek Carr, especially for guys like Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Juwan Johnson, the tight ends, Taysom Hill, Foster Moreau. Whoever they are, Saints are just going to be on an offensive onslaught all game. Giants just can't do a thing about it. Coming up next, we got the Jets playing at the Dolphins in the AFC East matchup. I got the sky blue for the Miami Dolphins, baby. I got the Dolphins winning 31-17. Jets are just not good. It's not the receivers' fault. It's not really the run game, even though that is a problem. It's more of like the quarterback. Like, he's calling all the shots. He's having the same offensive line problems that Zach Wilson had last year. It's just rough for New York. And as for their defense, oof, a little bit of a shell of their former selves, eh? Meanwhile, Miami, they had a good stretch of games until they played in the cold, but luckily they're playing at home this time. So I feel comfortable picking Miami this time. Up next, we got an AFC South matchup between the Jaguars and the Titans in Tennessee. I am very sure that Trevor Lawrence is not playing in this game. And as much as I was impressed with Matt Jones' performance against Houston, I just don't see them beating Tennessee at all. As much as I don't want to pick the Titans, this game is so fucking bad. I literally had to pick one of these trash cans for this game. Super Tank Bowl, I got the Titans winning, I'm going to say 23-20. Will Levis is very much improved from before his injury, but I gotta say, it's not really saying much at all. But that's just how much the Jags suck as well. Especially on offense. The defense is pretty solid for both teams. It's just the offenses look like absolute assholes. Up next, we got my Atlanta Falcons taking on the Minnesota Vikings in Minneapolis. I would say 28-3 Vikings, but I'm going to go 28-10 Vikings for personal reasons. Next. No, but seriously, I think the Falcons are cooked. Back-to-back games, they had to play very solid defenses. Yeah, we're fucked. Up next, we got the Panthers playing at the Eagles. Sorry, Carolina, your magical run-ins here. Eagles win 41-13. But seriously though, yeah, this is just a complete mismatch all across the board. Enough said. In the final game of the 1 o'clock slate, we got the Raiders playing at the Bucks, a little Super Bowl 37 rematch. As much as I laugh at the Bucks for letting the Panthers take them to overtime, they're still the Tampa Bay Bucks. They're still the good team in the NFC South. Raiders are still complete dog shit. Yeah, the Bucks are going to win 28-14. I see AOC or Desmond Ridder, whichever quarterback they want to start, they're going to have a pretty tough time against Tampa Bay's defense. Especially the rushing attack, because you saw what they did to Chuba Hubbard, whichever you want to call it. Imagine what they're going to do to the Raiders. It's going to be 10 times worse. Kicking off the Sunday 4 o'clock slate, we got the Seahawks playing at the Cardinals. This division is utter chaos. Nobody knows who's going to take control at this point. I mean, San Francisco fell off because of their injuries. LA Rams somehow are still in contention. Like, every single team could win this division if they win a certain amount of games. They had a defensive battle 2 weeks ago, but this is in Glendale. This is in Arizona. I got the Cardinals winning 21-17. Kyler Murray, James Conner, Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride, that offense will definitely bounce back. I think the Seahawks offense will also do so. Defense is looking good as well, but don't sleep on those Cardinals. I'm telling you, they can beat anybody. They beat the 49ers. They could beat the Seahawks if they could get their act together on offense. Up next, we got the Bears playing at the 49ers. Now, this game is actually interesting because on paper, Niners should absolutely crush the Bears. But because of so many injuries on the Niners side, including to Nick Bosa, I am unaware of his condition right now. We don't know if he's going to play or not. Bears actually might have a chance in this game. And the unfortunate thing is that their two best running backs for the Niners, McCaffrey and Mason, are both injured. They're both out. McCaffrey is done for the year. It's a PCL injury, and he's pretty much done for the year. And Mason, he's got a little ankle injury. I think he is expecting to return like the next game, but not this upcoming game. So, with the 49ers down to the third string running back and missing their best defensive player besides Fred Warner, assuming Bosa doesn't come back from his oblique injury, I got the Bears winning 20-17. This will not exactly be a high-scoring game, but I think Chicago has a chance to beat the 49ers, and it's a bold take. Both of these teams on paper have very good defenses. It really comes down to which offense can really make an impact last. And I think the Chicago Bears will do that as a positive impact. In the final game of the Sunday 4 o'clock slate, we got the Bills playing at the Rams. I'm very sure this is America's Game of the Week according to Fox or whoever this is doing Game of the Week. But I got the Bills winning 34-21. Both of these offenses are some of the best in the league, but when it comes down to defense, the only way that the Rams could keep up with the Bills is if their pass rush gives Josh Allen a very hard time, which I find it almost impossible to do. I say almost impossible because nobody's really invincible. Not even Kansas City, you fucking clowns. But I still think the Bills should win this on paper. In the Sunday Night Football matchup, we have the Chargers playing at the Chiefs in an AFC West matchup. It got all dark and shit when I was talking about the Chiefs. I think that's God's will of saying, do not let these guys win again. Unfortunately, I have them winning in another shootout, 31-28. I do want the Chargers to win, but it's going to be hard to beat Kansas City and Arrowhead. Very hard. And the final game this week is the Monday night matchup between the Bengals and the Cowboys in Arlington. Both these teams have been having a very unsuccessful seasons. We got the Bengals with an absolute garbage defense, but one of the best offenses in the league. And we got the Cowboys with without their best quarterback, Dak Prescott, out for the season. Like, he's done for the year. Like, no playoffs, not even the Super Bowl, they make it. You fucking wish. Anyways, they actually are building back one of the best defenses in the league. The main difference in this game is really which weaker side is going to make the best impact. So if the Bengals offense gets stalled out at all, they're cooked. Seriously. I'm pulling an upset here. I'm going to see the home team, the Dallas Cowboys, winning this game by a score of 38-35. This is going to be an offensive shootout as well. Which defense is going to be better in the crunch time? Unfortunately, Bengals defense can't even stop a toothpick. Like, that's how bad their defense is. No offense to Bengals fans, but unfortunately, the only thing that's holding you guys back is the defense. Like, anyone with eyeballs can see it. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Well, not really, but seriously. Conference Championship Week's College Football Playoff Bowl came out last night. We're going to discuss it. Honestly, my opinion, the top 5 is fine. The bottom 5, I'm fine with. 6 through 20, complete ass. I'm fine with the top 5, but 6 through 10, 6 through 20, it's got to be a joke, right? Like, come on, man. How does Ohio State only drop to 6? Like, they're behind an 11-1 potential ACC champion SMU. Like, come on, man. You can't be serious. I put Ohio State at 8 behind Tennessee and SMU. I understand being ahead of Indiana because of head-to-head, but ahead of Tennessee and SMU has got to be a joke, right? But here's a bigger question. Why the fuck is Alabama at 11? Like, ahead of 10-2 Miami. Miami has one less unranked loss than Alabama. That's how bad Alabama's season has been. Let me tell you, this brand exposure bullshit is literally corrupting this poll. Like, the committee is so corrupted by this brand exposure stuff. This is literally coming down to who's going to make the most money. And unfortunately, a 3-loss Alabama team is not deserving of a college football playoff, yet they're still going to be in it. I think it's bullshit. Like, anybody who agrees with me, I salute you, and I hope something gets changed in this poll. We need some criteria in order to make the playoff. You cannot have more or at least 3 losses. If you have at least 3 losses, you should be done. I have no idea if Alabama beat Ole Miss or not, but if these two teams played, I swear to you, Ole Miss would kill them. Gamecocks are at 14 after beating Clemson. Big 12 champion Arizona State is 10-2, yet they're behind 3 SEC teams who are 9-3. Like, are you fucking kidding me? At least the Big 12 champion is going to get a playoff this year. Fortunately, we're not going to be in it. You see us at 18. Clemson could potentially get in the ACC championship, win it, and make the playoff. Who knows how will happen to SMU, though. UNLV in the top 20, they could play spoiler to Boise State's playoff streams as well. And you don't see it, but Memphis is actually at 25th. The only reason that Memphis isn't in the playoff is because they have 2 conference losses as to Tulane's 1, because their other 2 losses that Tulane had were against out-of-conference opponents, Kansas State and Oklahoma. And now, here we go, conference championship picks. I'm going to get the 4 group of 5 conferences that have no playoff implications whatsoever. And then I'm going to get to the 4 Power 4 conferences plus the 1 group of 5 conference that has everything on the line. Anyways, starting with the American Conference, Army against Tulane, I'm going to say the Green Wave wins this. As much as Army's defense has been spectacular this year, I just do not see the offense of Army being the option, being able to get past Tulane's Green Wave defense. I just don't see it. Next up, Conference USA between Jacksonville State and Western Kentucky. These 2 teams just played last week as well. Western Kentucky won that game. I actually don't know the sites of every single one of these conference championships. I'm just going to go based on what I know. I think Jacksonville State is going to get their revenge in Conference USA. Next up, we got the MAC championship game between Ohio against Miami, Ohio. Another rematch. Miami, Ohio won the last one, and they're going to win again. And then we got Marshall playing against Louisiana Raging Cajuns in the Sun Belt. First Sun Belt championship appearance for Marshall. Interesting. But I'm going to say Raging Cajuns win that one. They're just the best Sun Belt team out there. And now for the 5 conferences that have playoff berths on the line. Well, more of like buys on the line. Boise State is playing UNLV in the Mountain West. If Boise State wins, they get a bye in the playoffs. If not, UNLV gets the 12th seed. Literally because if UNLV wins, Arizona State will get that 4 seed. And Boise State won't be in the playoff, and UNLV will be in, but as a 12th seed, they'll have to play in the first round. It is yet another rematch. These 2 teams played each other, and Boise State came out and won. In fact, their only loss for Boise State was against the number 1 team in the country, Oregon. I think Ashton Denty will have a better time playing against UNLV this time around, now that he knows what defense they are going to be running with. And I see Boise State running away with this game in the second half. Up next, we got the Big 12, Iowa State against Arizona State. You could barely see it because I was trying to fit all 9 conference championship games in one whole screen, but it's obviously hard to do. But as for this game, between the Cyclones and the Sun Devils, I'm going to say Arizona State wins this one. By the way, I'm not going to do score predictions because, well, the unpredictability is just too much to handle, really. I got to be honest with you. Anyways, Sun Devils win and get into the playoffs. Up next, we got the ACC Championship between Clemson and SMU. I actually think that Clemson is going to win this game in the ACC Championship and get a playoff berth. Not sure what that does for SMU, whether it keeps them as at large or takes them out of the playoff entirely, I don't know. But I think the Tigers have what it takes to be ACC champions. SMU is in their first ACC championship. I think the inexperience is going to get to them. Clemson's going to win this game. And now we got Big Ten versus SEC. I'm going to start with the Big Ten. Unfortunately, I hate starting with that because that's a top 3 matchup versus a top 5 matchup in the SEC championship. But College Game Day decided to put the SEC championship for some stupid fucking reason. But anyways, Oregon versus Penn State. Give me the Ducks to win that one. Just the easy pickings, unfortunately, for Penn State. And finally, we got another rematch, this time the SEC Championship between 5th-ranked Georgia and 2nd-ranked Texas. Georgia beat Texas in Austin, and this is basically a home game for Georgia because it is in Atlanta. ACC Championship game is in Charlotte. I think sure Big 10 is Indianapolis. Big 12, I can't remember which one it was. I forget. And then there was also Mountain West. I think that was in Vegas? But anyways, I think the Georgia Bulldogs are going to win again this time in the SEC Championship. And I'm very sure they're going to be the 2 seed instead of Texas in this one. And those are my conference championship picks of 2024. That's going to do it for this episode of Grizzly Talks Football. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you smash that like button. hit the red subscribe button down there and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. This is the Grizz, and that's all from me. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace!